Good evening and welcome to Brevard Notes. Tonight I have with me Paulette King, the producer and director of the movie called Forgiveness Lessons, and two of her actors. We have Yvette Jackson and Peller Alwell. And well, to get started, Paulette, I understand, well, first of all, let me thank you all for coming on the show. And Paulette, I understand that this new film that you have done has been submitted and is going to be shown at the Melbourne Independent Filmmakers Festival. Now, would you tell me a little bit about the story behind it and what it's about?
The film is called Forgiveness, Lessons of Life 101, and it's a film that is inspired by Yvette Jackson, who is on the panel with me, her life story.
Oh, okay. So you were basically the inspiration to that story then?
Yes.
And, working along that same line, would you describe the overall story, or would Paulette be better for that?
Go ahead.
Well, the overall story is it's a journey of my life, what I've been through since I was a small child.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it in a book form, and it's very inspirational. It empowered many people.
Oh, all
and
right.
I'm glad that it's made up into a movie.
Okay, so it's kind of a biography?
It's a biography.
All right. And overall, obviously we don't want to give too much of the movie away because it's important that people come to MIF and see Paulette's movie that was based on your book, but can we get just a little bit of an idea?
You want to take it?
The movie has a lot of storylines, actually, and it teaches a lot of great lessons. I think things that a lot of people are going to be able to associate with. We're going to see some clips today, just a little bit of something, right? Maybe we can tell a little something about it. But
all right. Well, you know, that's a very good idea. I'll go ahead and get our director to go ahead and run the video clip, and we'll show it in whole. We can't do a voiceover. We'll be just watching it, and then we can come back and discuss what's going on in that particular scene.
Sure.
So at this point, we're going to go to the video clip.
Darren today. Darren, coming to you.
Hi. My name is Nurse Marie. What's your name? My name is Jenny. How's my mother doing?
She's doing really good. Looks like she's going to be all right.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Hi, Dr. Kirk. This is Journey. This is Tommy's daughter.
Hey Journey, what a beautiful name you have.
Thank you. How's my mother doing?
Not good.
I thought you said my mom was going to be all right.
I'm sorry.
Don't be rude now, don't be rude now. Do you have an older brother or sister that I can talk to?
Why?
Mother's not doing well. She might not make it through the night.
You must be mad. You must drink my puss.
What does that mean? Julie, try not to be upset. We're going to do the very best that we can.
Doctor, is she all right?
Please.
Journey. What's your brother's name? Carlton. I'd love to pray for you right now.
Yvette, would you tell me a little bit about that scene?
Oh, that scene was in the hospital. My mom was sick, and I was in the nurse's lounge sitting down waiting for the doctor to come
Okay.
out and tell me how my mom is doing. And they told me that my mom was so sick that she may not make it through the night.
Oh.
So I got very upset. And I asked them a simple question. Are you drinking Mad Puss Piss? I
What?
was upset, yes. I was upset because, you know, losing your mom at that age
Right.
would be a very sad thing. And so that's what this scene was all about at the hospital.
Oh, you know, the young actor or actress, looks
Ronnie
awfully
Robinson.
familiar.
Ronique Robinson, she portrayed me very well.
That was really very touching. You know, because recently on a job, my day job, I've been working with a lot of kids, and that's pretty much how a child would take on the situation. They don't really, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but they don't really have a concept of death per se. It sounds like it was very inconvenient for you at the time.
Yes, very inconvenient and very nervous, very
Yeah,
scared.
I imagine so. I mean, hospitals are scary places anyway.
And then they tell you that your mom is not going to make it through the night, even make it worse.
Yeah. Well, we have another clip, and I'd like to get that in because we're looking about 6 minutes toward the end of our interview segment, and I really think it would be good to run that right about now. And then
Okay.
we'll come back and talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Wow, this place is beautiful, man. I like it already. You understand it yourself how good you are. You have to understand that I'm not a player. I'm not here to confuse you. I'm not spitting.
Billy, what's this? What's going on?
I'm just here.
What is?
This is Janice.
Janice who? You come say you're full Roger.
But her last name is Roger.
Roger who? You're a fool.
Hold on.
You're a fool.
Wait a minute, what's going on? What you doing in my restaurant with this kind of action? No. You don't decent people in here.
Tell him to get up.
Who's having fish?
I'm having the fish.
Okay,
have money to
lady, lady, no, this can't go on in here. Get out, please.
Baby. We have to go.
Well, we had some action in that scene, that's for sure.
Yeah, we sure did.
Well, Helen, tell me a little bit about that one. I mean, the question comes to mind, was that filmed in Jamaica?
Actually, it was filmed here locally. It was filmed at Montego Cafe in Palm Bay. They were very gracious. You know, as an independent film, you know, the volunteering is huge. So, you know, we've been very blessed.
I think we've all been there. I
Yeah.
love local filmmakers, and I frequently volunteer myself to work usually as a crew. Oddly enough, I prefer to be helping setting up the lights and the cables and that sort of thing rather than being the talent.
Yeah.
But isn't that really what makes this Brevard County such a unique place?
It
Is we
does.
have such a concentration of filmmakers.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Paulette, you're basically doing it out of your own pocket. I mean, you
Yes.
know, this is I'm
just-
not asking for particulars, but I know it's got to be costing you more than just time and effort because you got to get the film and processing and all that together.
Yes,
you know?
I have to feed the talent and the crew.
Oh, food
and
is always good, yes.
food, the camera, equipment, everything. But if you really want to make film, you'll make film. And that's what I'm doing.
And these stories, of course, are your own, in this case, inspired by the book, of course, but I was remembering the one that you'd done, was it a year ago?
The Incredible Banana.
The Incredible
Yes,
Banana. Now,
yes.
that was your
My
original
first-
script, right?
Correct.
Oh,
Full
okay.
feature.
And a full feature at
A
that.
full feature, yes.
Oh, you know, I'm neglecting to ask, is this a full feature or a
Full
short?
feature, 1 hour and 30
Oh, that's
minutes.
a lot of work. That really is, just in editing time. I think most people don't understand when they're watching a film or TV, since it's an immediate response and they're actually seeing it, they're assuming that it was produced in the same time that they're viewing it. When in fact, well, computers have sped things up, but I used to say for every hour of video, there is at least 20 hours to produce that 1
You
hour.
are absolutely correct.
At least I probably
Yes.
have 400 hours or more
Yeah.
hours, just
I
10
was-
hours
Wow.
a day.
This time around, I was very fortunate to be part of helping with crew and cast and some clothing, but I was fortunate enough to spend some extra time with Paulette editing. And I can tell you that Paulette truly puts in
100%.
not only that, the hours of being a mom and getting, you know, Michaela and Alex to every activity, but all those hours spent on the film, so.
And the editing is half of it. I mean, you know, and I would say the important half, because sometimes with the new computerized editing systems, you can achieve certain things that you weren't able to do
Right.
on location, especially with lighting and that sort of thing. Now, of course, best case scenario, get it right the first time when you get it in the can. It'll save you a lot of work later.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
oh, well, Lord, if people only knew. I mean, some people have done a little bit of editing of their home movies, and it shows.
Yeah.
Okay, to make a truly professional edit, you have to watch every frame practically,
That's
Yeah.
make a
correct.
good
You do.
transition.
Yes.
That you do.
Well, time has come right up on us pretty fast here, so we have to go for the close. But I'm glad we got those 2 clips in there. Let's go ahead and get that MIF graphic up, because right off the top of my head, I cannot remember the dates. You
I'll
can go
be delighted to tell you.
Oh, yes, go for that, please.
Please come and join us September 28th and 29th. Our very important meet and greet is Saturday, the 29th. Between 10 and 2, you'll get to do meet and greet with the cast. There's going to be the directors
All right.
where you can interview them, and then red carpet Saturday night.
And you know,
Yeah.
for the rest, 3boysproductions.com has it all listed out there. Ladies, thank you all for coming in
Thank you for
tonight.
having us.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
And
you so much.
folks, please stay tuned and we'll be right back. Good evening and welcome back to Brevard Notes. For the second part of the program, I have another independent filmmaker. We have Zach Hibbard, and he's the producer and director of The Diner, which has been submitted to the Melbourne Independent Filmmakers Festival. And he has his team with him here. We have Casey McCorkle, who is the director of photography, and Darren Houle, who is an actor in the film as well as the editor and doing the special effects, the visual effects. And well, you know, I always find it interesting to bring people in the local filmmaking community, because Brevard County has a surprisingly large number of people that are just going out and doing it. Now, Zach, first of all, congratulations on getting your film in the festival.
Thank you.
And also, give me a general idea of what the diner is about.
Well, Diner's a short film we made a couple years back now, and we finally finished it fairly recently. And it's a film about a group of diner patrons who become suspicious of each other when a policeman comes in search of a UFO crash survivor. And it harks back to an earlier kind of a sci-fi style of shooting, where he didn't use too many special effects. We tried to keep it very simple, straightforward, focus on story and character.
Right, the concentration there, because sometimes I think on the modern film genres we depend a little bit too much on special effects. We just sort of wow them with the latest 3D.
Not saying there's no special effects in there. Darren worked his magic a few times.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. But you went for the purity of the story, and I think that's a good thing, because you don't see much of that. Sometimes some of the movies you see out there look more like a storyline than an actual story. Now, Casey, you were involved in developing the idea of the movie, coming up with the suggestion, I suppose.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I was, I think Zach and I were fishing for story ideas, and I had mentioned, you know, some of the older TV shows like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. They have all these great ideas that are just sitting there. Nobody's ever, you know, you don't see a lot of that style, especially in short films these days. So, you know, simple short ideas. You can, you know, do something with them, tweak them here and there, and, you know, just make it a cool film.
It was basically your inspiration, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And then you took it and created your own twist, your own originality onto it.
Yeah.
Right. That and Casey really wanted to shoot in a 50s diner.
You don't see that location
Well,
pop
it's hard
up
to find
too many
those.
times in, you know, especially student films.
And you know, I think it's a good thing to mention the diner, because, you know, without the owner of the diner to cooperate, you guys wouldn't have had a set. I mean, they're hard to find.
We would have had a living room.
I know.
Yes, there you go. Someone's living room.
Yeah.
It's in downtown Melbourne, up from the
yes,
City
it
Hall, I
is.
believe.
It's called The Burger Place, and it's right in downtown Melbourne. Fantastic burgers, I must admit. But Casey and I were looking all over for 50s diners, and he said, hey, I have this, there's this place in downtown, and it looks really good. So we just walked in, talked to the owners, and lovely French couple, very nice. And they allowed us to come in and shoot on one of the days they were closed.
Okay. And that was very useful. You know, as a matter of fact, I think we should go to the video clip now, so we can give them a good sample of what they're going to see at MEV. And so, folks, go ahead and get that going for us.
As far as we can tell, there was one survivor. We tracked it heading in this direction.
Hold on. Are we in any danger here?
Out with it.
Well, there's more. According to some of my people, this thing could look like us.
Don't be ridiculous. What do you mean it could look like us? He's making things up just to keep us here.
He's just doing his job.
He thinks it's one of us.
Anna. I ain't no alien.
Well, Darren, I saw you were in that scene, and I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what's going on there.
Well, first of all, normally I'm not in front of the cameras, but Zach needed somebody. Normally I'm in back, I'm producing or writing or doing visual effects, but Zach needed a policeman, and I guess he thought I fit. The policeman in this film,
It's the fantastic hair.
he's what actually introduces the danger, the paranoia, the fear. The monster of this film is not as clear and obvious as some films. The monster in this film is really everybody is doubting and paranoid about the other people, some of them they've known their whole life.
Yeah, and you know, that's really, except for the part where it's an alien from outer space, that is a theme that reflects human psychology. I think the terminology, they used to call it witch hunts, but then the witches got angry, so they moved in to call it moral panic. Now, I know this is an authoritarian source because I got it from Wikipedia, but I like that because it's the herd mentality. It takes a certain number of psychological triggers. You come in, you make the announcement, and suddenly everybody is, like you say, you know, this alien can look just like us. So who is it? Is it my friend of 26 years?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you played it very well.
Well,
I mean,
thank you. I was told to play the reluctant policeman. He really doesn't want to be there. He kind of wants to go home for the day. He doesn't really want to put up with this silliness. So he's a little hesitant to explain what's going on, but he has to. And then the crowd goes a little crazy on him. So.
Yeah, because they want him to give more information than he really has, you know?
Right.
But, well, you know, Casey, you know, a lot of people tend to think that just because it's easy to watch a film or easy to watch TV, that it must be a really easy process. But the fact is, there's a lot of little problems that pop up. And usually you don't know what they are until you go into the process. Now, describe some of the problems that you had to deal with when you were putting the diner together.
Well, I think the biggest problem we had, which also played into the editing process, was the audio. Because when you shoot in some place like a restaurant, you have the hum of the air conditioning that goes on and off. And also the hum of the refrigerators and the equipment. And so, you know, in a story that's supposed to be, you know, 10 or so minutes of real time or whatnot, you're going to have all these, you know, background noise in this shot, and then it's gone in this shot, and, you know.
And, you know, when you get into that, that's, I think, what they call ambient sound. And it's an interesting thing about the human mind is most of us don't realize as we're walking through life that we're actually filtering out a lot of sound. We psychologically put it in the background. I mean, the sound is actually there. Okay? So when you're producing in a situation where you have ambient sound, it's only when you play it back do you suddenly realize, what is that noise?
You have been kind of antsy there, pal.
People, calm down.
I will not be treated like this.
I saw him. He's an alien.
Come on, folks. Let's all just think about this.
And how do we know it's not you? Since when did you start wearing your hair down, Kathy?
Oh, and when did you start noticing my hair, Bill? Maybe I should accuse you.
I think it's the cop.
Hey.
Now, Darren, on that particular scene, the interesting thing was, it's perfect now, but at the time it was done, you had some difficulties with the audio, and you were able to take care of that in post, editing that is. What were some of the challenges on that?
Audio was very difficult because we had, as Casey said, we had air conditioners and ice makers, and we even had people coming in off the streets into the front door. So we had a lot of sound problems, and some clips had sound problems, some didn't, and they had to all be equalized, so they basically have all a little bit of background noise in all of the clips. And it took a lot of audio work.
And in a perfect world, of course, you would like to get it the first time in the can, but the thing that's happening now with the new software and the new production equipment you have is you can actually make these adjustments. Now, before we leave, I wanted to ask Zach, what is your biggest hurdle and what are your plans for the future?
I think the biggest hurdle I had was, as far as being a producer, this is the largest project I'd done. All the different actors, the different crew, all the people had to come together on this one day and have everything work out. And we still had a couple people who weren't able to make it, which made it a lot more difficult. But we managed to pull it off, and at the end of the day, we had our film, and we just had to put it into editing and get it done.
Now, overall, how long has it taken you to pull this together? Because I know you have a regular life where you got a job and you know your girlfriend and your plans for college, but how long has this taken?
It took quite a while. It was shot in one day, and it took us what was it, about a year to finally finish off everything. We had the rough cut done within a few months, and then I really wanted an original soundtrack for it. I wanted some extra stuff to put in there, and it took us a good amount of time between all our other projects to get it done.
Well, it's that time. I wish you all the best of luck in winning at the Melbourne Independent Film Festival, Filmmakers Festival.
Filmmakers.
Yes. Terry's going to get me if I didn't get that right. Anyway, that's on the 28th and 29th.
Yes, sir.
And I want to see everybody there because it's going to be the best party of the year. So please stay tuned for our community calendar and have a very good evening.